Why isn't it part of the bill that says to make that spending come true, you have to have the ability to borrow if there aren't tax revenues sufficient to pay for the problems? Why do we keep banging our heads against this debt ceiling stuff?
That's right. I think you're on to the kind of debt ceiling reform that hopefully we are going to see after this, because the showdown, the waiting until the last minute, the uncertainty it's creating is clearly unhealthy for the fiscal environment, the economic environment. The truth is that the debt ceiling in the past has been used many, many times productively, where measures were attached to it that generated savings, whether it was spending caps or actual savings or the Simpson-Bowles Commission. But now, as the polarization in Congress has gotten even worse, it's clear that we are unable to use the debt ceiling for productive changes. Under President Trump, for instance, 3 times they increased the debt ceiling and attached measures that made the debt worse. So what we need to do is reform the debt ceiling so that if you are voting to engage in borrowing, passing legislation that isn't paid for, perhaps that's when you lift the debt ceiling, or we replace it with some other kind of measure that makes us assess our fiscal situation, but not with the threat of default, which has just become too chaotic for a polarized Congress to handle.
And we come up against this all the time. It creates a cynicism toward the governing process, among many other things. Brian, let me turn to you. Secretary Yellen has said that the X date, the date at which the government will run out of its sort of accounting gimmicks that enable it so far to keep paying our bills, is June 1. But practically, legislatively, isn't the X date sooner than that? Because Congress is going out on Friday for the long weekend, number one. Number two, there are requirements, aren't there, that there be a certain number of days between the introduction of a bill or the introduction of the bill and the voting on the bill. What's the real date we're looking at here?
Yeah, you nailed it, Tyler. I think the real deadline, if June 1 is the X date, then the real deadline is probably the end of this week, because once you get an agreement, you do have to write the bill. That doesn't happen overnight. That could take a day, 2 days, and then House Republicans especially, they're going to want 72 hours to review the bill. So there's no vote coming up, and Congress will be out of session next week. Now, look, if they can get a framework and an agreement in principle by the end of the week before the Memorial Day weekend, then I think Congress can probably pass a short-term suspension to buy them that extra week or two that they need to then debate and probably pass the debt ceiling bill. But without that framework, without an agreement in principle, it's going to be really tough. So, yeah, I'm looking for the end of this week to be the practical deadline.
And if that were all true, Brian, and the market was down, 2.5%, I'd go, OK, I understand. But then why doesn't the market? I mean, the stock market has done nothing to create any urgency here. Why?
Yeah, I think part of it goes back to 2011, 2013, that we went up, especially in 2011, we went right up to the edge, and Congress and the Obama administration reached a deal. And so I think there's a view among investors, yeah, that's going to happen again, and we'll go right up to the limit, and they'll get a deal. The other is, I think the talk of prioritization and the fact that there is some comfort level in that Treasury can pull off the payment of bond payments. I think that has led some investors to say, it's just not going to have a big impact, at least in the financial markets and at least immediately. I've been on with you before, and we've talked about kind of the secondary effects, even beyond Social Security and payroll. I'm looking the economic effects from missed payments to a vendor or a contractor. But for financial markets and investors, they think if bondholders are getting paid, and I think there's a high degree of confidence in that. I think it takes some pressure off the market. And if the market's not pressuring Washington, it becomes this odd cycle that it's not pressuring Washington to deliver a debt ceiling deal.
How do you react to what Brian just said, Maya? I mean, if there is this kind of Thelma and Louise moment between the speaker and the president, they drive the thing off the cliff here. What does a default really look like? And how searing would the consequences be if, as most people figure, the government would still find a way to pay interest on its debt, would still find a way to pay Social Security and veterans benefits. It would still find a way to pay other kinds of obligations. And what might not get paid might be some contractors, might be some employees who get furloughed.
Right. Well, the response will be negative. The question is whether it will be an abrupt kind of crisis-like situation where markets really kind of freak out and interest rates spike up, and this is a problem that is exported around the world, or whether it's more of a muddling along and business leaders and the markets continue to kind of yawn at Washington and say, we are so tired of you not getting anything right. We will go on about our business and, you continue to fail to govern. But it will slowly erode our place on the global stage. And that's already what's happening. If you look at the views from around the world at how the U.S. is acting, it's hard to believe that this is the behavior of a reserve currency. And treasuries have a special role in the global financial economic system, and that will last for a shorter amount of time if we continue to abuse it. So either there'll be a crisis or there will be kind of a eye rolling from other countries who start to look to other ways to diversify away from the U.S. Or I think what will happen is we will avoid default. We will not have anything close to the crisis, but it will be the continued erosion of faith that Washington can get things done, and the business sector and the markets will continue to look at ways to work around Washington, not with Washington. That's not good for anything. That's the sign of an unhealthy sign about where our democracy is right now.
Maya, thank you very much for your perspective. Brian Gardner, thank you as well.